to become an adult and kind of just be clammed into this little office space, I was like, this is not it. So again, like I said, I started recording videos on Snapchat because it was popping at the time and sharing my experiences of my everyday work life. And people like, oh, this is funny. I'm like, this is funny. I'm like, okay, well, let me write this down. I started just writing in like this little notebook, and from there it was up. I'm like, well, you could put this into a set and you can really go and tell this shit on stage.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Bamboo. Yes, I am sitting in the podcast room at the Bamboo Detroit location right now, which is where you have seen a ton of the Black Fridays podcast episodes. And the reason that is because Bamboo has been Black Friday's creative hub for the last couple of years. However, it's much more than our creative HQ. It's home to hundreds of entrepreneurs, creators, thinkers, and doers just like yourself. Now, whether you need a private suite that's customized to your liking so that you can effectively get work done, or if you need a space to be able to host a meeting or a conference call, Bamboo has flexible, creative spaces and a supportive community to match. Now, if you don't get anything from this message, I need you to do this right here. Go ahead, click the link to check out Bamboo's selection of private suites at any of their locations. That's right, any of their Bamboo co-work locations. And you can also find a link in the show notes as well to get those details. And it's time for you, yeah, that's right, you, to join the Bamboo community. That's it. Time to get into the show. What up, though, Black Fridays family? Welcome back to another installment of the Black Fridays podcast. Today, I need you to make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe, and send some videos to some family, friends, and loved ones so that we can keep this thing going. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, I got a very special guest in the building, somebody who is having like a mini homecoming being here right now, but help me welcome Miss Delo Brown to the podcast.
Hey, okay, he put the government out there. Hold on.
My bad.
Hey, everybody, turn your volume down. I got people looking for me. That's Delo, okay?
Yes, there we go. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm messing with you. It's all love. That's how you know we cool.
I gotta get out of that habit though, because
okay.
I love saying people full government. Like I even say people names, they full names in my phone. I don't do the nicknames, and I need to know exactly who I'm talking to.
Okay, listen, I ain't mad at you.
But what up, though? Welcome
on.
What
up, though? Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So, Delo, when it comes to being a creative, you are multifaceted in that sense. You are a comedian, a writer, a producer, an actress. What don't you do creatively? Let's start there.
I was about to say something crazy, but sell drugs, but no. Allegedly.
Yeah.
See, that's why I say you can't say DeLorean. No. But no, I do everything God has blessed me to do. So, I mean, nothing's really off limits. I've been telling myself lately, like, the limit does not exist. So I'm really just deep in my creative bag right now. Just all things that make sense. So.
That's what's up.
Thank you.
And so I want to pinpoint a certain moment in time. I believe I met you at your very first comedy show that you did in Detroit, back in the Black Suites, RIP to those. But what year was that?
2016, July 29th, 2016.
So it's been almost like 10 years that I've known you, which is crazy. Time is flying by. So could you take me back to that moment in terms of, because like I said, you do a lot of things creatively, but I want to pinpoint on comedy because at that moment in time, that was like a leap of faith, so to speak, for you in terms of like stretching yourself and saying, let me go out on a limb and do something. Because that was the first comedy show you ever did. So could you take me back to that time and what led you to that point?
Yeah, so it was a cold, chilly day. No,
it literally was.
But you know what? At that time, I was working in the school system and I knew I wanted to change. I didn't go to law school like I wanted to, so I got into education. And I started making like Snapchats about what was going on at school. And people would send me like, yo, this is funny. So I started writing down my videos instead of recording them. And then I'm like, hey, what if you like do a comedy show? Because people have been telling me I've been funny my whole life. And my dad, he like doubled down and agreed with me. He's like, yes, let's do a comedy show. I'll help fund it. So I'm like, all right, let me, use my resources. Who do I know within the event space that I can just put something small together? Reached out to the homie. He like, yep, I got you. Set it up, sent out the flyer, and it sold out in like 24 hours. So yeah, that was it.
And so that kind of kicked everything off for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like?
Yes.
Okay.
That was it. It's been up since, because I feel like once you start something that deep, you can't really go backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew I was entering a different chapter in my life, and it's like, look, if you're going to do it, do it. So from that day, it's just been up ever since. So.
And so tell us, where are you now creatively with your journey? So could you break down like the things that you are involved in and how you getting out here creatively hustling?
Yeah, so I still am a stand-up comedian. I have transitioned to LA now. Been there almost 7 years this January. There I have hit like all the main stages in LA, and I also produce an all-women's show called Ladies Love Comedy. Shout out to my co-producer, Brittany Dixon. We've been doing it for 2 years. We were located at the Ice House, which is one of LA's most premier comedy clubs. And then we transitioned to the Laugh Factory, San Diego, and now we are at the Mic Drop in San Diego. And we are at the Gathering Spot in LA. So I do that, model, act. What else do I do? Write, produce. So I do a lot of things because you can't just do one. You have to do a lot. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And in your work that you do in entertainment, you're around a lot of popular people, celebrities, things like that. Mm-hmm. Could you talk about or give us highlights of any projects that you've worked on that you're proud of?
Ooh,
I mean, I can think of a few, but I'd rather hear it from you than me.
What have I worked on? I'm like, why am I drawing a blank here?
I mean, you discovered Clarissa Shields. I mean, Ryan Destiny.
Oh, I did not. I just so happened to be in the music video with my girl. She's so sweet. Shout out to Ryan Destiny. Mm-hmm. But you know what? What's amazing, from the music video that Ryan and I were in, I have met a lot of people from that and have still remained in very close contact with them. Okay. Even the hairstylist from the shoot, he's phenomenal. I mean, his clients, I cannot say, that's how renowned they are. So just that, and the stylist from there as well, she's helped me with all of my shows back here in Detroit. So just things like that, like, that's been great. So I'm glad you mentioned that. But yes, that, Ryan Destiny, Big Sean. I've done a few movies. I've been on a few television shows. Recently, Judge Karen. It's on Peacock. I believe season 10, episode either 24 or 26. Price is Right. My short film is dropping hopefully this Christmas. So, yeah, we got a lot of things going.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can find you on the IMDb.
Real soon.
For sure. All right, Delo, I feel like we're already having fun, but let's have some more. Now I got to introduce you to my favorite part of Black Fridays, which is Freestyle Friday. Hey, listen, thank you all so much for listening to this episode and any episode of the Black Fridays podcast. But I got to be honest with y'all, I really think it's something missing, and I hate that y'all didn't notice it. The thing that's missing is your podcast. Why am I not listening to your podcast? You talked about making one with your friends years ago. You know that you need one to better market and promote your business, but yet you still don't have one. This is why I created the Pocket Podcasting course, to teach you how to be able to podcast with the essentials and tools that you have right at your fingertips in order to create. You could join my digital do-it-yourself on-demand video recorded Pocket Podcasting course, where I go literally step by step from idea on how you upload your very first podcast episode. And for my people who like to have something a little bit more tangible, I have created a digital ebook that walks you through my podcasting journey, the things I've learned along the way, the tools and equipment that I use in order to create and elevate my show. Now, look, I don't want to keep you too long, but I'm going to make this as simple as possible. Go ahead and head over to www.blackfridayspod.com to learn more about the digital podcast course and also the podcasting ebook, or you can hit the links in the show notes to take you directly to each of those resources. All right, enough of that. Time to get back into the episode.
Aw, snap.
Yeah. So you should know how this go. Yeah, we're gonna need some bars. So whatever you got 4 bars, 6, 8, 16. If you wanna do a scripture, if you wanna do a poem, yeah.
Okay. Do I have a beat?
Nope.
Oh, I
Yeah,
just start going.
Yeah, we ain't got budget for beats, so you just got you gotta go.
It's okay. So you don't need a budget for a beat. You just need some good knuckles and some pencils.
So you don't have to freestyle if you don't want to.
Okay.
You can just answer random rapid fire questions if that's okay with you.
Oh, either one.
Okay.
I'm up for a challenge. So you I want to hear the questions.
All right, let's do the question, and then we might get some
let's
bars
do that.
too.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know if you're a Coney connoisseur like myself, but because being from the city, I need to know, what do you get when you go to Coney Island?
Baby, a grilled chicken pita with ranch on the side, and lettuce, tomato, Swiss cheese on it. Make sure the chicken is well done. Sometimes I'm getting French fries. If I'm not, I'm a skinny legend.
For sure. Iconic order.
Real iconic. Any more questions?
Yes, I have several actually.
Perfect.
What's a joke that you have in memory that did not do well, that bombed?
Oh man. You really want to know?
Yep.
I think about this often. It's actually one of the highlights of my career. So when I first started, this was before I moved to LA, a friend, probably a mutual friend, hit me up for a show. It was a Valentine's Day show. It was like for the lovers only. It was all of that. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is very early in my career. I'm talking like year 1-ish, 2-ish. And so I put on my sexiest outfit. My skirt is see-through. Like, my friends come, everything. It's about 4 or 5 of us. So we get there, and I'm just noticing the audience. I'm like, damn, this audience they don't really look like me, but I'm like, I'm going to go for the gusto. So I'm up there. I'm talking about this stuff, and then somebody yells out, like, pray for her pastor. And that's when I realized this was a church show, and I was up there telling jokes. So that is one of my favorite memories, my favorite joke, that bomb. When I tell you, you can hear the Bible drop on the ground, okay? So yes.
They said pray for her
They
pastor?
said pray for her pastor. They said pray for her pastor, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was that. So, but that's one of my favorite highlights of my career. I feel like you need that, I needed that to toughen me up and also be aware of my surroundings and when I'm booking myself for shows. Just, being ready and being prepared for the right environment.
Understood. The ultimate professional.
The ultimate. You can't do nothing but learn from it.
So where would you say is your favorite city that you've worked in outside of where you live or have lived, like Detroit or LA?
Ooh, you know what? I had a good time in Chicago when I did do stand-up there. Atlanta, oh man, I had a fun time at I believe it's the Atlanta Comedy Theater. Amazing crowd, like hundreds of people. Shut that MF down, okay? This was last summer, so I definitely want to go back there soon. I mess with Atlanta. I like them.
For sure.
Yes.
Do you have a comedic top 5?
Ooh, Dylan. Let me see. Who is my top 5? That is such a question that it's like in the back of your head, but it's like when people ask you, like, it done changed. Of course, we love Kevin Hart. We love Monique. We love some more. Mike Epps, Cat Williams. Yeah, all of the good people with bubbly energy. That's the type of comedy I like, and I feel like all of those people exude that. So,
got you.
Yeah.
And last but not least, who would you say is the most famous contact you have in your phone?
Myself. Okay, well, besides me, I really can't even tell you. I'm sorry. But the second, let me see. Ooh. Damn, I can't say that either. Oh my God, wait.
A name you can say.
Whose number do I have that is pretty famous? Oh my gosh. Other than the 2 people I can't say, I'm trying to think. You have to come back. This is a trick question.
All right, well,
I'm going to have to look through my Rolodex.
I'll ask you this. Is Rihanna still in your DM or emails?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
I actually just started back working with them this year. That is very funny. So maybe Rihanna. I ain't got her number, but I got her email.
Okay. Could you talk about that briefly? Just what that is?
I'm a brand ambassador for Savage Fenty. I pretty much model all of their like plus size lingerie, athleisure wear, sleep loungewear, all of that good stuff. And I've been doing that since like the pandemic, and then took a little break, and now I'm back on it.
Before I forget, who are your famous contacts, if you can remember?
Off the top of my head, because that's the homie. Shantae Wayans, she cool. We've done a few shows together. She's always down to support me. She was on my podcast as well. Her family is cool from the ones I've met, like, you know, outside of her. And she's the homie. So shout out to Shantae Wayans, you know, little name drop, boom, boom, boom.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Dope.
Yes.
Dope. Well, thank you for partaking in Freestyle Fridays. We appreciate you for engaging in the randomness.
You're welcome.
So Delo, as I mentioned, I met you at your first comedy show, but
Yes.
you also talked about how you worked in education simultaneously when you first got started. So what was your path prior to comedy, and then what led you down that path to becoming a comedian?
Yeah, so originally when I graduated from MSU in 2013, I wanted to go to law school. I wanted to be an entertainment lawyer, all that. Baby, I started studying for that LSAT. I was like, never mind. So we're going to pivot. And I was unemployed for like that summer right after graduation. And then somehow this job for MSU's college advising corps just like kind of fell into my lap. I worked there for about 2 years, and then I transitioned to Harper Woods Middle School and High School. And there I was a substitute teacher for special education. So it was cool. I really do enjoy working with kids. They keep you on your feet. They keep you young. They keep you moving. But ultimately, I'm like, Delo, this is not it. You've always kind of been a creative person. You've always been in the arts, like even when I was younger. Dance, piano, singing, track and field, shot putting, discus, all that. So it's like, to become an adult and kind of just be clammed into this little office space, I was like, this is not it. So again, like I said, I started recording videos on Snapchat because it was popping at the time, and sharing my experiences of my everyday work life. And people like, oh, this is funny. I'm like, this is funny. I'm like, okay, well, let me write this down. I started just writing in like this little notebook, and from there it was up. I'm like, well, you could put this into a set and you can really go and tell this shit on stage. So.
And had you ever thought about comedy before people started to tell you about your Snapchat stories being funny, or was that not really like a thought process for you?
When I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be famous. But I did not know how. I was like, you're going to be famous, but I don't really know exactly what, because I was obsessed with music. I was obsessed with like Missy Elliott, Genuine, all of that. But I'm like, I don't want to do music that bad. I'm like, I don't want to be a musical artist, but what is it? And it's funny because I believe in the 8th grade, we have these paper plate awards. Somebody wrote on there like, you're going to be a comedian. But I never like, really took it seriously, and shit. Here I am now. Here we are. So yeah.
Somebody knew something.
They did. And you know what? I'm a receive that, because someone who's a grade above me that I went to elementary and middle school with, he's a huge producer for Big Sean, Beyonce, everybody. And on his paper plate awards, they wrote, you were going to be a famous producer.
Who's writing these awards? We need to find them.
Listen, our peers. Shout out to our peers manifesting for us, because we appreciate it. So yes.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Your father was willing to invest in you kickstarting your comedy career. Now, when a lot of people tell their parents that they want to be some type of entertainer, or let's just stick with comedian,
right.
That's not always the first thing. Like, ooh, let's help our baby dive into this. Right. Like, they might be a little apprehensive to it. So what was that like for you, being able to get that support? And has that always been the case with your family?
I'll never forget the day. I sat my parents down in the living room and I looked them dead in their face. I was like, I'm not going to law school. I was like, I'm going to be a comedian. This is it. And they were like, all right, cool. So, I've always just been the free creative bird in my family, though. I'm the only girl out of 3 boys, too. So I just kind of have my way. I'm a daddy's girl. So, I feel like in that moment he trusted me. I'm a grown woman. I did everything they told me to do. I went to the best schools. I graduated from the best high school. Went to a Big Ten university. I did my thing. And now it's like, I want to take my life, in my control. I need your support, Mom and Dad. Help me. And they did. So I know that's not realistic for everybody, but I am so very grateful for my parents. Like, even when they tell me no, because every time it's not a yes, I'm still grateful for that, because it makes me go even harder, because it's like, really, you got to depend on you, girl. So yeah, but they are there to support me for sure.
That's what's
and
up.
they have been.
That's love.
It is. I don't take it for granted.
Now, would love to talk a little bit more about your journey. And so you started your comedic career here in Detroit, and then you get a chance to move out to LA, start to explore more from an entertainment perspective. But I wanted to ask you, for you, why did you feel like it was necessary to go and transition to LA? Or I don't know if it had to be LA specifically, or if it would have been anywhere else. But why did you feel like at that time I gotta make this move for me?
You know, I felt like I had done what I could do on my own here, comedy-wise. I was like, all right, I done produced a few shows, went to a majority of the clubs here. I'm like, let's take it up a notch. Let's go for the gusto. Let's go to Hollywood. Let's literally see what their comedy scene is like. And honestly, that's been one of the best decisions I've probably made for my career. I believe it's necessary to be out in that environment. You know, you never know who you're going to meet. The training is real. Being up on those stages, being up at those comedy clubs, Sunday through Sunday, like that shit is real. So I definitely think it's been a plus. The people who I've met, the way I've grown as a woman and as a comedian and as a professional, I can do nothing but, you know, owe that to all my moves to LA. So, yeah.
And can you talk about what that grind is like when you are building yourself up as a comic? You finding your voice, you finding your lane and your niche, and you building that set or sets and that brand. What is that grind like? Like, take us through that journey, being out in LA.
It's an everyday journey. Like, taking a day off there is like taking off a week. You know what I'm saying? You have to be consistent. It's a constant just running muscle. You have to get out here and network. And even if you don't have a show that night, get up, go out to the comedy clubs, go see your fellow comedians, go shake some hands, see if you can get on this show. Build with your people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's us sitting down, writing the material together, helping each other out, writing out some sketches, finding the next best thing, but staying consistent. That's the everyday hustle in LA. So whatever that looks like for you, just make sure you're consistent at it.
Yeah. And outside of the comedy clubs, you produce a lot of material, whether it's for social media, digital media, or any other forms of entertainment. What is your approach to creativity and developing those things? Like, how do you conceptualize these things, and then how do you go out and implement them?
So if I have a project, I just automatically, I'm like, all right, what do we want this to look like? What story are we conveying? What are we telling here? And does this align with the Delo Brown brand? So even if that's me working with someone else, because I write for YouTubers as well. You know, LA is like home of the creatives and the sketch comedy people. So being out there, I got introduced to that world, and so I started writing, and I had to conceptualize like those concepts, those 10-page scripts, sometimes 20-page scripts, and I'm like, okay, how does this look? You know, is your voice still present in this project as well? Because even though it's about them, it's like I'm still building this out for them, so it has to come from me. They like me for a reason. I'm doing it for a reason. You know, my expertise is there, so that's one way I approach things. What else? Tell me. Do another question. I feel like I might be steering off, so I don't know. Guide me back to where I'm supposed to be.
No, I just wanted to know, like, what's your approach to developing content, and then you were well versed in developing content. Like, I see you in a new video, either collabing with somebody or
yes, okay, yes. So, and then also just hooking up with fellow comedians, fellow actors, fellow writers. We get together and we come up with these ideas of what's funny, what's trending, what we think is good, and what's good for society right now, because it's pretty dark out there. So we try to do things that are high energy, nothing too, dark, things that make people laugh. And again, as long as it aligns with our brands as comedians and it, helps us to grow, then that's what we doing. That's what we working on. So, some days it's a skit about Mr. Charles. Some days it's a skit about being a Detroit girl in LA. I don't know. So it just depends on the day.
So you mentioned that you typically don't do things. You're trying to do things that don't align with the Delo brand. Yes. How would you describe the Delo brand that you have developed?
The Delo brand is awesome. The Delo brand is about being confident. Like, no matter who you are, man, woman, cat, dog, just being you, being out there, putting yourself out there, representing for beautiful Black women, especially from Detroit, and just being loud and proud of who I am, you know?
Yeah.
That's the Delo brand right there.
Love that.
Thank you.
So in terms of building that brand and going about your business, getting yourself booked, things like that. Well, first, let me start with that. What is the secret for, let's say, people are creatives, they're musicians, they want to go into comedy or whatever the case may be, want to act. What's the secret to getting booked? Because I feel like for you, you started by booking yourself and then, went from there. But like, what would you say is the secret to getting gigs and partnering with folks?
I'm still booking myself realistically. I don't have a manager for comedy. I do have an agent for the print and TV commercials that I do. But as far as comedy, it's really me and my network and who I know. So sometimes it is me getting in people's DMs, emails, telephone, text messages like, hey, you got a show coming up, or do you know if someone has a show coming up? And then also being outside. That's what the comedians call it. We be like, you got to be outside. So going outside to somebody's show, you might have to go to somebody's show for a few weeks just for them to be like, okay, I'll give you a spot in about a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm still booking myself. So as a creative, if anyone who wants to step into this field, you have to put yourself out there, and networking is key. It really is about who you know. So that is how I stay booked.
So the relationship part, I didn't know how serious it was, but you saying that remind me of when I read Kevin Hart's book, and he talked about how he was driving from Philly with his mentor up until, or he was taking his girl's car at the time, going up to New York, literally every weekend. Like I think it was every Thursday or something like that. He was always like around the same crop of people you kept running into, but like he was saying that's how he built his rapport with like the Chris Rocks and the people of that status.
Absolutely, like literally. All of that. None of it is a lie. I see Tony Rock at the Laugh Factory on any given Monday or a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? When he see me, he be like, "What up, Detroit?" But I the only way that happened is me showing up. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Rock? Hey, how you doing, Tony? Oh, you remember me? He may not remember that my name is Delo, but when he see me, he be like, Detroit.
Yeah.
And, nigga, that's close enough for me. It's the fact that, but that's also, to me, that's that tap on that shoulder, like, you doing well. You've been doing what you need to do. So like Kevin Hart said, them drives. 2 weeks ago, I'm driving to San Diego, 3-hour drive straight. I got to get out the car, get dressed, do my makeup, do my hair, then go host the whole show. As soon as the show over, put my clothes back on, handle business with the club, I'm back on the road to LA. That's my whole day. But sometimes that's how it is, and that's what it is. And people don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? That's a sacrifice within itself. I had to literally say a prayer, which I always do before I go on stage. But that particular night, I was exhausted. You know what I'm saying? Coming off of a 3-hour road trip, and I'm driving, and then I got to host this whole show and did my thing, of course.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So everything Kevin Hart is saying, yes.
Yeah.
Yes to all that. Sometimes I drive to shows for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Go perform 10, 15 minutes, get my $20, I'm out the door. That's the grind. And if you ain't built for it, you got to get the fuck on. For real. For real. So.
I was going to say, why is that grind so relentless? Like, do you know if anybody has tried to crack the code to, I don't know, make it more efficient, or is that just that's just the hustle?
That's the hustle.
Okay.
I think being on the road and building your own brand is how you really get to that bag. And that's why I do so much. As long as it, makes sense and falls under my umbrella. That's why I like producing, acting, writing, collabing with other people, because those are other sources of income as well. If I was just depending on the comedy stage, baby, I would not have my apartment in my vehicle. So, it's a relentless grind, but you just kind of got to add to it. I don't know how to crack the code. I just know how to play by the game. Like, that's all I know how to do. So,
ever since I've known you, you seem to be pretty on top of your business when it comes to the entertainment game. Like, that can take you through all types of loops. But do you feel like you have been able to get your business acumen from, like, does that come from you internally on the norm, and that's you always cross your T's and dot your I's, or do you feel like you kind of grew that muscle being at this stage in your life?
I would say it's a mix of things. One, my dad, he's very business oriented. I saw him, as a kid. He had his, when I was a kid, he had a car transportation service system, and then he had something for disabled people where he would transport them to their doctor's appointments, stuff like that. So seeing that grind from a young child and growing up, and then my dad, he's also an engineer. He works for like the Japanese. So I'm like, my dad always has known how to get money. And so I've watched him as a little girl. And, you know, when I decided to step into entrepreneurship, I'm like, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of trial and error. I am not perfect. I am actually still learning, still trying to educate myself to be by the books. Also making sure that you work with right-minded people and people that's not going to screw you over. And again, you know, shout out to my business partner, Brittany Dixon in LA. She has helped me a lot, especially with our Ladies Love comedy show. She's taught me a lot. So I'm really like a sponge, and I'm still in my sponge era, learning everything, making sure, dotting my I's and crossing my T's. But for the most part, we good. Government, we good.
We got it on tape.
You know, we got it on tape. I did my taxes. No, we good. We good.
Yes. Is there any tough lessons or hard lessons you've had to experience or learn so far in the journey?
It's tough. This industry don't love nobody. You know what I'm saying? You think people are your friends. People are not your friends. Just do you. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I had a crazy thing happen. Last week I had a show. I mean, I did amazing. Like, tore that motherfucker up, okay? And the comedian after me came up, and I guess because, and I'm going to say it, they were intimidated by the boss levelness that I had just shown. And the first thing they do is take a dag at my appearance and my weight. So then it's in those moments, do I react like the real Detroit bitch that I am, or do I keep it professional because I don't know who is in this comedy club right now? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just shit like that I even got to deal with that people don't even know about. And that, you know, if I wasn't mentally strong and confident in who I am, that could have fucked me up. But I let it slide. And again, stuff like that can happen on any given Thursday. So it's a lot of little tidbits I got to deal with.
Okay. How do you navigate like the fake love that you'll see or experience out in Hollywood or in the entertainment industry? Like, how do you navigate that? Because I think a lot of people deal with that in whatever profession that they're in. So how do you kind of deal with it and appropriately navigate it?
Honestly, F them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to sound cliche, but you got to let stuff like that roll off your back. Because people going to be people. Yeah. I cannot beg you to be real. I can only make sure I'm real and that I show up as myself 24/7, 365. So whatever that person doing, that's on them. That's their loss. You know what I'm saying? I have encountered so much bitch assness within the last like 6 to 8 years. I'm like, wow. Like, it's to the point I be having to take a moment. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's why I fly home, because real talk, it's a little more real here. I can be a little bit more myself. I don't have to worry about, oh, well, what you got going on? How many shows you got coming up? I don't give a fuck about none of that sometimes. The bills is due, lady. Back up.
Right. Right.
But you just know that's the LA and Hollywood territory. And I think after being there for almost 7 years, it's like, that's just that LA shit. That's my phrase. With everything, whenever I deal with some fakeness, that's that LA shit, and I keep it pushing. Because at the end of the day, I know who I am, and nobody will ever be able to say Delo was fake. So I just deal with it. Just keep it pushing.
Facts. What keeps you going? Like, where's your source of energy to continue in this game, given that it could be a grind, it can be relentless, you got to deal with fakeness. Like, what's your source of motivation that you tap into to keep you going?
My family, honestly, I really do this for them. My parents, I want to make them proud. Even though I am currently making them proud, I've always made them proud. But I just want my parents to know, like, hey, y'all did right. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this for y'all. I love y'all. And I just want you to know that nothing is in vain. And that's honestly the only thing that keeps me going is them.
Dope.
Thank you.
Dope. So is there any wisdom that you would give to up-and-coming comic who might be trying to figure out their footing and understand, how can I get into the game? How can I get booked? How can I, do X, Y, and Z? You talked about it a little bit earlier, but wanted to know if it's any other gems that somebody might have passed down to you that you might be able to give to them.
For real, networking is key. I wish earlier in my career, somebody would have whispered that in my ear. Like, I always heard about it when we were in undergrad and, you know, I was at MSU. I always heard, oh, networking. But you, in that state of mind, you applying it to your 9 to 5. I didn't really realize how much that is a necessity for the comedy game. Entertainment, period, whatever. Mm-hmm. So if there's anybody coming up in this game, find you a mentor or find you a right-hand man that you can really just thug it out with. Y'all can hit shows together, beef up your material, you know, bounce ideas off of each other because you can't do it by yourself. So find you a trusted 1 or 2, 3 people and just do your fucking thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you consider yourself an entrepreneur?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do, because I ain't clocked in for nobody in a long time. So I would like to say entrepreneur because I do not like the term unemployed. So, yes. Entrepreneur. Yes.
That's like them old heads be like, people say, oh, you're an entrepreneur. Like, you ain't got no job.
That's me. I am Tommy. I have no job. But I have income. You just don't know where it's coming from.
Right, but it's there.
It's there. It's there. Yes, it is.
So Delo, while you're in town, you have a show coming up, and I know you got other things coming up because you're always building. So what do you have on the horizon?
So in the next few days, this Saturday, August 30th, I have a show that's being produced by the city of Detroit. It is at the Spirit Plaza, and it's me featuring a whole bunch of other great Detroit comedians here, hosted by Mike Larry, who is awesome, and he has a special coming out soon, I believe on Tubi. So shout out to him. And then I have another event, I believe, coming up September 12th, but I'm waiting to hear back on that, so we're going to hold on that. Okay. Then my birthday is September 30th, and I think I'm going to do a big Detroit shindig, you know. I think I want to celebrate here this year. I'm missing my people a lot. I'm real homesick, so yeah. And then we got some more stuff on the way, but I cannot reveal just yet.
Okay.
But stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Bet. And a question that slipped my mind earlier, I meant to ask you, if in terms of your outlets that you have for your creativity, if you could give us a breakdown of like what provides the biggest bag or biggest bag, so to speak? Because like you said, if it was up to comedy, you might be out on the streets, but because you have other avenues to tap into, you can keep this thing going.
I will honestly say this, and let me rephrase that. If it was up to doing comedy strictly in LA, I'd be on the streets.
Got you.
But honestly, the bag is in the D. For real. Detroit, the money is here. I love producing events and shows here because, you know, we get to really bring the city out and really get that money going. So, yeah, I would say anytime I do a show or an event here, I do well. So shout out to all of y'all. I love y'all. Yes.
And real quick, do you have a wish list of any projects that you would like to do or people you would like to work with? Because we, believe in manifestation here on Black Friday.
Honestly, my biggest wish is just for this year, for my short film, Keep It on the D-Low, to see the light of day, and that everyone who was a part of it is just, overfilled with joy seeing the finished product, because it looks so good, and I just wanted to see the light of day, and I want you all to see it and what we've been working on and what I can really do. So that is it. That is all I want.
And you created a pilot for it, right?
We shot the whole thing.
Oh, you shot the whole thing?
It's pretty much ready.
Okay. So what we need to talk to the camera, let the people know what you need to to get it done so we can send this to the right people.
I'm running it up. We got a few little bills we got to pay on the end of it, but it's coming, okay? It's in its final stages of the sound and the coloring, so that's it. And once that's it, I'm going to put together a premiere, and we're going to get this cracking.
Bet. Can we get a couple tickets?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, my God. Of course. Y'all VIP.
Bet.
All day.
Appreciate it.
Red carpet. Okay, period.
Appreciate it.
For sure.
Well, Delo, we appreciate you joining us on the podcast while you in town this time. I know you frequent here because, like you said, the bag is here, but also family and love and the real is here as well. But very grateful to have you on the platform. Like I said, it's been almost 10 years now, which is crazy to even think about. But I've loved seeing the evolution of what you've been doing over the years as you continue to grow, and just waiting for you to continue to just do the bigger and bigger and bigger projects. And then people gonna forget about Will Smith running the summer. It's gonna be D-Lo.
Okay, it's gonna be D-Lo. Period. And thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure watching the podcast grow. You have done really great things. I enjoy seeing the clips whenever I see them online, seeing familiar faces and then people who I don't know. So shout out to you too.
Appreciate that.
Period.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
Everybody watching and listening, we're going to tap in with y'all soon. Peace.